Feel the speed, the thrill, yeah. High octane drama can't get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed. You move to NFR.
Engines roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine.
the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, sick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, yeah. NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, 'cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story. That's no lie, and when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story. That's no lie, and when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We go SAFRL the show. Engines roar, lights will glow. Feel the rush, feel the flow. Every lap, a twist, a turn. Speeding fast, rubber burn. Crowds cheer, hearts churn. Victory, what we yearn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Victory, what we earn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride. Crashes, spins on the track. Up and down, who's coming back? Champions rise, no slack. Push to the front, never back. Pit stops, precision, gold. Strategy, daring, bold. Who will lead, not foretold. Speed and skill, tales unfold. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride.
Chasing dreams in flight. SAFRL thunder roar, spinning wheels forevermore. Engines scream at 8 o'clock. Adrenaline like ticking clock. Turns and twists where legends bleed. Every fan needs to believe. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes, from the lows to the highest highs. It's the thrill that never dies. Pit stops quick, a race of fate, champions born at heaven's gates. Trackside hearts beat wild and free, victory for all to see. Rivalries burn tire lights, red and green in the night. Final lap on the moon's gaze, ending in a roaring blaze. Crown rolls like crashing tide, in SAFRL we take pride. From start to end, hero fights, everlasting speed delight. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes, from the lows to the highest highs. It's the thrill that never dies. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes, from the lows to the highest highs. It's the thrill that never dies. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes, from the lows to the highest highs. It's the thrill that never dies, the thrill that never dies. Pit stops quick, a race of fate, champions born at heaven's gates. Trackside hearts beat wild and free, a victory for all to see. Rivalries burn tire might, red and green in the night. Final lap on the moon's gaze, ending in a roaring blaze. Crowd roars like crashing tide, in SAFRL we take pride. From start to end, heroes fight, everlasting speed delight, delight.
Feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama can't get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checkered flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take
Engines roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to SAFRL here on NFR. Of course, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, new time slot. Still trying to get used to it myself. We're in Season 10, Round 4. And it's a circuit that should be quite interesting. We've got almost a full field, 18 drivers. One or two might still squeeze in before the race. The reason I say it's going to be an interesting circuit is it's not on the official calendar. So what happens is a lot of leagues do leave it out, and that means a lot of drivers they don't do as many laps around this circuit. A lot of them pretty much abandon this circuit. I think there could be mistakes, even from the quickest. Brought up the championship order a little bit earlier on. You would have seen that it is currently tie. I think it was at 58 points, if I'm not mistaken. But if I can bring that up. Can't bring that up, I'm not sure. Ah yes, because the PlayStation's on top of it. I'll have to sort that out later. So we've already got some drivers out on circuit. The Portimão circuit. Lots of elevation change, that's what it's known for. All natural elevation change. Rocky terrain of the Algarve. Leads to a real roller coaster feel. It's up, it's down. When you get it right, it feels great. When you're just not bonding with the circuit, it can be a terrible circuit to drive on. Ooh, we've had a spin there. Let's get off Savvy, let's go to the lad mine. It's one of the two Williams drivers. Of course, we saw that horse on an outlap. Having an early spin, it's going to be a difficult night for some of these drivers. Some of them would have still tried to get in some practice. Others, They're very decent drivers and they're going to be quick regardless of where they show up. If you're one of those drivers who just tends to pitch up, and you haven't done this circuit in a few months, well, things could be a little complicated. No lap times on the screen just yet, but lad mine is setting the purple so far. Not sure if that's because he's quickest or if he's the first one over the line. Either way, he is setting that track in purple. I think there's someone behind him lighting up the track in purple because those are disappearing. Sugar Bear goes fastest, 117.5, then a 17.2 by lad mine, so 3/10 faster. Let me know in the comment section what you guys are expecting for pole position and who you expect to set pole position. Also give me your predictions for the race, give me predictions for the front row, anything, any sort of data, and let me know, drivers, what not necessarily the drivers, they're not going to let me know, they're not going to give their strategies away, but if you're one of the drivers who isn't driving tonight, let me know what tyre you'd be starting the race on. Already 6 drivers have set lap times. Not all of those lap times are representative. You can see the lap time by Skull, 1:18.7 or 1:19.5 by Skull, rather by Skulk. That's the drivers either haven't done laps or haven't done laps that they'd like to see. This is Sabby. We saw him spin earlier on in the session. Looking to get on with things. The champ remains in the pits. This is Pantry Star, one of the 2 Mercedes. The other Mercedes up in provisional pole. It's Dion. Have a look at that pole time by Tian. I believe that's a 1:16. I can't see it properly. There we go, 1:16.8 I believe it is. The only driver in the 1:16s. Lad mine not too far away, 17.2. Sugar Bear with a bit of work to do, 17.5. And nobody else quite in that league just yet. Still waiting for that first lap from Sabby. Saw him spin earlier on. Now he's looking for his first lap time. Hopefully we don't see him peeling off into the pits, because this is what happens sometimes in the short quali. Time can just get away from you. It doesn't peel off into the pits, so there is a lap time. And it's good enough for P11. It's a 1:20.5 again. I don't think it's a representative lap time. Still lots to come. And remember, if you're one of these drivers that just shows up, this track could be either completely new to you or a very distant thing in your memory. A lot of drivers don't practice at the circuits that aren't on the official calendar. A lot of other leagues don't include them. This is Mink, one of the 2 RBs. Of course, RB leading the Constructors' Championship. I think he's definitely part of that, but an even bigger part of that is the man right at the bottom of the timing sheet, Squeeze. One of the championship leaders, and I can say that, one of the championship leaders, because P1 and 2 are on 58 points. The next 5 drivers are separated by 9 points. Go now with Pantry Star. Let's put that Mercedes up onto the second row. Good result so far for the Mercedes. If the checkered flag were to fall now, I think they'd be pretty happy. 1 car on the front row, 1 car on the second row. Not too bad. Lad mine. Join him just in time to see him emerge from the pits. Let's join Wheeze. Join him just in time. He's gone 1:17.1. It's good enough for P2. It's closer to Tian, but it's not quite in the 16s. Still in the 17s, low 17s, but nonetheless Still 3 drivers yet to set lap times. One of those drivers will not be able to set a lap time at all. That is not Shumi. He has either left the session or retired from the session. Sometimes those are voluntary, sometimes those are some sort of penalty. Sometimes they're just an incident we missed. This is its Ferrari. Another one. The quicker drivers in the field, leaving things very late. We's left things late. It's 1:17.1. He's going to need to have another run if he's looking to get himself up into P1. It's not going to be good enough. He needs to get himself into the 16s and needs to get himself well into the 16s. We're riding with his main championship contender. It's Ferrari, currently in P18. There's no lap time. Let's see what he does as he goes over the line. It's a 1:17.2. Very, very close to V's all the time being. Dion, well, just got an advantage over the field. Go a little bit further down. Let's have a look. Here is Spikes. Pretty sure he changed his name. It still says Spikes, but it's just confusing me now because it says Spikes. Spikes. Can't focus on that name too much, otherwise I'll just say Spikes for the rest of the stream. Top Gun 1:18.1. He remains in the pits for now. 1:18.5 for Skull. Then Captain Slow P12. Virus 13. He's out on track. Naked Champ P17, he's the only driver with no lap time. Of course not Shumi. Well, he didn't set a lap time. He's going to start from the rear of the field because he's already retired. Still 8 minutes to go. Superman on provisional pole. Look at that, he's just gone quicker. I think he's just gone quicker, has he? He's got quicker in sector 2. See what he can come up with if he had anything left in his pockets. When you see these lap times, you assume it's absolutely everything from the first run, and then somehow they come out, they find an extra tenth, they find an extra 2 or 3 tenths. It can be quite depressing for the slower drivers. Lad 9 has since gone down the order somewhat with Rees in P2 and it's Ferrari in P3. Factory Star down to the 3rd row in the pits. Sugar Bear in P6. Going over the line up that hill. Circuit was purpose-built for F1 in 2008, or at least it was completed in 2008. Got FIA accreditation in 2009, was promised the Grand Prix in 2010, and it never happened. Politics. Of course, eventually Portugal did get their Grand Prix. They got it in 2020. We all know what happened that year. But a little complicated. Naked Champ has put up a very decent lap time of 1:17.5, takes him up into P7. Problem here tonight is a very decent lap time is not enough. If that very decent lap time is only good enough for P7. The lap times besides the leader 17.1. Then we've got a pair of 17.2s, got a 17.4, pair of 17.5s, 17.6, 17.8, 17.9. Absolutely insane lap times between the drivers. What would be more insane is that sort of race pace, or if we can see that sort of race pace translated from qualifying. If we can have a close race throughout. Some drivers in the comment section actually asking for rain, so that their opponents would lose the ability to use DRS. Not very nice. I hope you get rain and they forget to switch off DRS. There is a reason they switch off DRS in the rain, trust me. That would be quite disastrous heading into a heavy braking point with your wing wide open in the rain. Probably not advisable. We have had races where we've seen that happen, clearly intermediate conditions, and the DRS just stays open. Top Gun, P11, just outside the top 10 right now, 118.1. If he wants to break the top 10, he's got to break the 17s. And I don't think a high 17 is going to be quite enough. Wants to get into the mid 17s if he wants to improve his position. There's just so many drivers in the 17s. Picking up a 10 for 2 could pick you up 2 or 3 positions. Tian remains in the pits. This is Wheeze. 17.1 was his initial run. This will be his final run. There's only 3.5 minutes remaining in the session, but he's going to be able to get back and try again. Seems like he hasn't had a second run. Seems like this is his second run. I wonder if he aborted his second run and this is his third attempt. Seems a little out of sync with Dion. Dion leaving things a little later. This is the outlap. Famous hill. Let's do the opposite equator. The hill comes at the start of the straight rather than the end of the straight. Turn 1, you just want to clip the curb. Make sure you don't hit that sausage curb on the inside. Same for the rest of them. You can use all of the curbs, just don't touch the sausage curbs all the way around. Close to the apex as he can, uses all the racetrack on the outside. Very nicely done, and this is the part of the racetrack so many drivers have a problem with, this right-hander right here. So many drivers just lose the back end. Car gets out of shape. Might not necessarily have an incident, but a lot of drivers lose their lap time right there. If you have an issue with traction, that's where it's going to appear most. I think it's just gone quicker. That timing sheet is correct. I'm not going to read it out because, well, it was a lot quicker. I'm not sure if the game is correct. If it was correct, it's 3/10 of a second quicker in Sector 2. So let's see if we can keep it all together through Sector 3. Up the hill for Wheeze, and it's good enough for P2. It's a 16.7. And that's as close. That's as close as it gets. Of course, Dion is going to come out and he's going to defend his honour, saying there was just the one driver in the 16s. Well, Weeze has changed that, and then Ladmine pops himself into the 16s as well with a 16.8. Very, very close lap times through the field. It's Faree in P4. It shows you the class of the field. It's Faree. And good enough for the second row. Vantistar P5, Sugar P6, and Shaft P7 with that lap time on his last run. Mink P8, he remains in the pits. There's only 1 minute to go, so if you're in the pits, that is the end of the session. Andre on an outlap. This is Spikes, Top Gun. Let's go up to the leader. Where is your provisional pole sitter? It is Dion. I believe this is the end of his outlap, starting a quick lap. Does he have anything left in his pockets? I said earlier on, it can be quite shocking when they come up with even more. And quite depressing if you're one of the drivers on the other side of the grid. Hi Joe, good to have you in the comment section. And I have to ask you, it is mandatory. Why are you not on circuit? I love having the drivers in the comment section, but if I see 2 spots open, there's a driver in the comment section, I have to ask the question, why are you not on the tarmac? Back to Tion. Mercedes, currently on provisional pole, disqualified from the session. Parked in a dangerous location. That's bad luck for Naked Champ. I think he was probably just trying to get out of the way of a driver on the fast lap, put the car in a awkward spot and got disqualified for his actions. That's very, very disappointing, very unlucky. Gets as close to the wall as he can, goes over the line. If he was trying to prove a point, I think the point has been proven. 116.2. And well, that is, how would Max say it, simply lovely. Since it's free, it's not over yet, we know he's got a lot of pace, but what sort of pace does he need to find? A lot of pace. He can find himself a 10th, he can put himself up onto the front row. We'll soon find out if he has a 10th. If we see him peel off into the pits, he does not have a 10th. There we go, there's your answer. I think everybody else, who else is out on tracks, just Sabby, and he's just returned to the pits. So I believe that is the end of your qualifying session. We're just going to wait for those official results. I think there may be 1 or 2 penalties the game needs to sort out rather, in our lineup. Of course, it's quite funny when all of the drivers come into the pits at the end of the session, especially when the checkered flag has fallen, because if you go over the line, qualifying ends a lot sooner. But at least we get to watch the teams in action, pushing the cars about. Again with the copyright, no mute in time. There we go. Tion takes pole position. I almost said provisional, but it's not provisional. It's pole position. It's a 16.2. Then it's a 16.7 by Weeze. That's second best. Another 16.7 by SAFRL for P3. 16.8 for Ladmine P4. So close. Then you got Pantry Star P5, Andre P6, Sugar Bear P7, Mink P8, Spikes 9, and then Top Gun makes up the top 10. With a bit of work to do outside of the top 10, you got Skull P11, Captain Slow P12, then Virus 13, Chums 14, Skulk 15, Sabby 16. And I think I missed the last 2. I know not Shumi is 17 because he didn't qualify. And then of course the disqualification of Naked Champ. I looked up at the screen ever so briefly, and while I was trying to remember who was 17 and 18, I thought I saw something, so I looked back down and I announced who was in 17th and 18th. I looked back up at my screen hoping to see something different, but I in fact did not have my eyes play tricks on me. It is indeed raining. These are the weather conditions that Tion actually wished for. So, Tion, you got what you wished for. Congrats. This is exactly what Tion wanted. He wanted rain, and apparently he wanted safety cars. Of course, we're looking at an empty pit lane. Nothing much happening, just a few raindrops falling. All of the cars to the left-hand side of your screen. All of those drivers will now be doing their final preparations for the race. Of course, not much they can do in the way of tires. I would usually say, what tires are you going to start on? How deep into the race do you intend to go? Conditions like this, they nullify all of that. They neutralize all of that. Everybody's going to start on the same compound of tire. If it's wet, they're all starting on the blue tyre. If it's intermediate, they're all starting on the green tyre. There's going to be no tyre advantage at the start. And everybody's pit window should come at more or less the same time. I think Tian is concentrating on the race. He's no longer in the comment section. But this is what he asked for. And that was even prior to qualifying getting going. Long before we were in the race. Of course, we're away for a formation lap. Look at that, it's one of those weird conditions, is it? Let's just have a look at the tyres. It looked like it was raining. Apparently, these raindrops are going to go away very, very soon. Because the entire field is on slick tyres. Differing slick tyres, I didn't see that coming. There was going to be rain conditions, those raindrops. It can sometimes happen is that rain is only for a lap or two at the start of the race. Then things are supposed to clear up. But it seems like everybody would be comfortable on that slick tyre. Tian not exactly tiptoeing around the circuit, he is getting on with it. It is one of those strange conditions you don't see very often. Raindrops are falling, the sky is full of clouds, but everybody out on the slick. Tian and everybody else just giving the cars a final weave, trying to get some tyre temperature, some brake temperature. Don't know how that rain is having an effect, if it's having any effect. Seems like Tian got a disqualification. Remember, that's just for the formation lap and the start procedure. So he might be pushed back slightly in his box. Give Wies and SAFRL an opportunity at the start.
16 turns stretched over 4.6 kilometers make up circuit to Barcelona, Catalonia. The two DRS zones on the circuit will allow the cars to hit over 330 kilometers per hour.
5 red lights, and when they go out, we'll get underway. And here we go, Tian versus Wies versus SAFRL versus Ladmine into turn 1. It's a turn 1 you've got to commit to, and in these conditions it's going to take quite some bravery. Tian holds on to the lead at a crucial time. Here we're watching Wies in the RB. These are the Constructors Champions, and of course Wies also the joint leader of the championship. SAFRL the other leader of the championship. Both of those drivers on 58 points. A bit of a drop down to 27 points, but then the next 5 drivers separated by 9 points. Early days in the championship, still so much to play for. And of course, it just takes a mistake by one of these quicker drivers. Just need one round of no points. Things can suddenly get flipped on their head, and comfortable leads can quickly disappear. Of course, in this league, there is no comfortable lead. Tian still leads the way. Wies in P2 trying to keep him honest. 0.7 of a second, I believe they've got DRS because they're all out on the slick, and I don't see any more raindrops. But as I say that, yep, there's still raindrops. Must be so annoying for the drivers. It's not raining. Well, the track doesn't feel like it's raining, but you're seeing rain. Tian over the line to finish the first lap. It's going to be a 33 lap race, so it is a long one. So Tian versus Wies. SAFRL still holding station in P3, as is Ladmine in P4. The not a lot of positions up and down the field. Everybody just sort of holding station. And now we've got something interesting happening. Is this a mistake? Or was this done on purpose? Virus has come into the pits. Definitely had damage. We saw the wing come off the car. They changed the wing on that car. But the reason I say it's interesting is that driver's gone onto the intermediate tyre. We now have a reference. Which tyre will be the better tyre? Well, the entire field suggests that the dry tyre is the better tyre. Virus, not a great start to the race. Besides, he's going to have a roll of the dice. That's his best chance in this one. Do have a caution. Every time we get a caution, we hold our breath. But hopefully this one disappears. It's very early on in the race. We don't want any stoppages now. Just lap 2 of 33. Dion still leads the way. We don't see anybody else trying that virus idea. Only virus on the intermediate tyre. Everybody else staying out on track on the medium tyre. Well, everyone there in the top 8 on the medium tyre. The hard tyre seems to be struggling. They're at the rear of the field. Captain Slow, Savvy, Chums, and the Naked Champ. He's actually made up a few positions, Naked Champ. Fantastic start. Remember, he had to start wide at the back. He had a disqualification. Not Shumi. Retired in qualifying, but still started ahead of Naked Champ because the DNF is still better than a disqualification. Dion, 0.8 of a second. He's just holding that gap. But it's at a very, very dangerous point. You don't want to be holding the gap at that point. You want to be holding the gap a little closer to 4/10, 5/10. When it starts getting to 8/10, 9/10, you start to panic. You know that driver's got the pace, and once he gets out of DRS, you're going to lose a very valuable tool in staying with your opponent. Notification there from Death Queen, thanks for bringing it to my attention. Skull into the pits. Full wing damage. Bad wing damage apparently, so he's come into the pits, changed that wing, come back out in P17. And interestingly enough, he's come out on the hard tyre. Remember Virus, he came in a little earlier, put on the intermediate tyre. I questioned it. Why would only one driver in the field be doing this? Well, now there's 2 drivers in the field. Captain Slow down in P18, and now we've had a retirement. I know he's one of the watchers of the channel. So after the frustration has simmered down, let me know in the comment section what happened there. I'll tell you what's the problem. I think you're just getting too quick. And the quicker you get, the closer you get to the edge. And every now and then you're going to go over that edge. Of course, Skull will make a return to the track on Sunday afternoon. And of course, he'll be back here next week. Next week, I can't even tell you where we're racing. It's back to a mystery track. 2 mystery tracks on the SAFRL calendar. One of them was last week. Next one will be next week, and we'll be done with the mystery tracks. It's going to be a difficult trio of races. Get a mystery circuit probably a lot of guys haven't practiced, followed by a mystery circuit. It's quite the trio. On the one hand, Dion would be hoping for the rain because there's no DRS, so if he's got a pure pace advantage over his opponents, the inevitable will happen. He will break DRS and run off into the distance. With DRS, drivers who are maybe just a tenth or 2 slower than him all of a sudden they can keep up lap after lap after lap. But even though there is no use of DRS, I don't think Tian's going to be too happy with this. If you want to be running away at the front, safety car just keeps that field together, and every single time there's a restart, there's a risk. Don't say that, Skull. It's a fantastic circuit. In fact, it's the only circuit I've ever won races on. So it's a fantastic circuit. Love Portimão. In fact, my longest ever time trial run was done on this circuit. I did 400 laps. It's insanity. Another lap under the safety car. Probably won those races, Skull, because everyone else out on track had the same opinion as you. More and more drivers now getting on that intermediate tyre, trying something different. Of course, the safety car now gave everybody the ability to come into the pits and then join that queue. So you might not be up in 10 or 11, you might be at the back in 17, but you're still up there with the queue, and at the restart there's always the possibility of picking up positions. And if that intermediate tyre is indeed the correct tyre, those cars should be coming through the field very quickly. But surely the likes of Dion, the likes of Ladmine, It's Free, Bandry Star, Sugar Bear, all such big names, quick names, even the likes of Wheeze, all of those drivers have either stayed on their medium tyre, or in the case of Wheeze, come in and put on a set of medium tyres. So some really quick, experienced drivers, and none of them going for that intermediate route. And the drivers at the rear of the field going with the intermediates. I think that's looking for a little bit of hope. Out front. Of course, he's going to have the responsibility of the restart. Have a look at the weather conditions from on board. I see why the drivers went into the pits for those intermediates. Doesn't look like the conditions are much worse than they were at the start of the race. Did expect to see an entire field on the intermediate tyre. Was quite shocked to see this many on the dry tyre. Tian almost drove into the safety car. Would have been hilarious. Would have been what race was that? Spain 2016? I think it was Spain 2016. When two Mercedes drove into each other and gave Max Verstappen his first ever victory. Of course, this wouldn't be the two Mercedes teammates. This would be Mercedes leader and, well, safety car. Who do you think's in that safety car? Toto? Maybe it's Lewis. On his return to Mercedes. It's going to be a very interesting season in Formula 1. Lots of rookies. More rookies than we've ever seen before. Safety car in this lap. Immediately you see Dion tap off the power. Almost looked like he jumped on the brakes. He slowed down so quickly. He's going to do preparations on his tyres, do preparations for his restart. The moment that car, the safety car that is, clears into the pit lane, then Tian takes over the responsibility, becomes the temporary safety car. he decides when the race gets going again. He can go early, he can go late, he can go just before the start-finish line if that's what he wants to do. But there can be no overtaking till that start-finish line. Otherwise penalties will be handed out. Dion at the restart. Looks like a comfortable restart. Landmine close, but not going to be close enough to try anything into turn 1. It's free, P3. Looks like everybody's just going to follow through. Lioness turn, no drama, all the way back to the McLaren. Top Gun also through nicely, with a bit of side-by-side between the Red Bull and the RB. Sort of mimicking the action we saw in 2024 between Perez and Liam Lawson. Hopefully it doesn't end in the same sort of result. Of course, all of these cars set to equal, so the RB driver won't be too worried about getting that Red Bull seat. Does have the same car. All of them have the same car. Look at this for racing at the back. In the front, things looking a bit boring at the back. Everybody trading places left and right. Such an insane circuit with the camera angles, with the elevation. You see the cars going over the hill. There's blind corners. Sometimes you just don't know where that opponent is. You know he's next to you, but you don't know how close he is. Those two RVs almost went into each other, in fact. And now look at Andre. He's making up a bit of ground. He's making up a bit of ground on that intermediate tyre. And now it's starting to raise questions. At least in my mind. Is this track maybe just favouring the intermediate ever so slightly? As I say that, Andre goes through, takes another position, this time off Top Gun. He's in P7. Let's keep our eyes on that gap between Andre and Spikes. 2.6 seconds. If it starts to come down suddenly, then the intermediate is the correct tyre. Only 5 drivers on that intermediate tyre of the 17 that remain in the race. Man in P2. View from him. Few raindrops. There we go. Few raindrops. Some running down the camera. Obviously not enough to affect the track conditions. The majority of these guys still on the medium. I said keep your eyes on the gap. Keep your eyes on the gap. I should have kept my eyes on the gap. The gap between Spikes and Andre. If I remember correctly, that gap was 2.5 seconds. Well, now it's 7/10. And there we see the McLaren going awfully wide, and I wonder, is it just getting slightly wetter? Has it crossed over in some way? And they're still looking to make up positions. You can just see the McLaren there trying to find traction out of the corner. And has Andre found the sweet spot? Has he found something the other drivers have not seen? Is everyone ahead of him staying out on track? On saying the drivers out front, look at that fastest lap, Andre 125.4, and surely that will make the drivers think about it. Of course, the drivers are going to have a better general idea of the weather than I am. I don't know, the race could go on to the end exactly like this. When the drivers were sitting in the pits for qualifying, they do have a little weather screen. And it does give them an indication of if the race is going to end in the dry or end in the wet. The problem is, it's not always that accurate. Drivers might know that it's going to get dry any time. There's no point of getting onto the intermediate. But for the time being, it's indeed working for the Williams driver. 1.4 seconds now down the road from Pantry Star. Is the case that the track is just leaning green. We're going to be hoping it stays that way for as long as possible. Quite a few viewers watching the race. Glad to have all of you here. Some of them are drivers, that's why the comment section is so empty. If you're here, if you're in the comment section, if you're not in the cockpit of the car and you haven't said hello, say hello, so I know you're here. T1 goes over line 25.2, and that's on the medium. So that'll just that leaves us in a position where we're really in the middle. Which tyre is better? Andre just went over the line 2 laps ago, set the fastest lap for the race on a set of winters, and Dion went over the line a lot later, set the fastest lap on a set of mediums. Two very, very different sets of tyres, almost equal in pace. The track's sort of in this balancing act. Really annoying place for it to be. It doesn't want to swing one way or the other. Now, we do have Skull. Yeah, Skull's the only retirement, and he is in the comment section, so let me know, Skull, these conditions on the dry tyre, how did they feel? Did it feel like it was getting wet? Did you have the confidence as if it was dry? Are we just seeing these raindrops, but the track feels great? What did it feel like out there? Of course, I know it's not your favourite circuit, but generally, how did it feel? Was it slippery? Started to see a bit of sliding there by Landmine. Andre has picked up another position. He's caught and passed Pantry Star, and he's actually cleared Pantry Star. 1.3 seconds now adrift is the Mercedes. So Andre making up a lot of ground on these intermediate tyres, but for how much longer? We know this track is going to have to switch one way or the other for the time being, and a few drivers make that choice, go on to the intermediates, but Andre has made it work to his advantage the best. Next driver on intermediates is Virus. Actually, Chums just made an overtake on Matsumi using the intermediate. So we're in a funny spot. I'm the commentator and I can't even tell you which tyre they should be on. See the drivers on the mediums. Ooh, we've got a caution. We've got a caution. Hopefully that's nothing. And that's all it is. It's just a caution. Don't want to see anything more than that, especially at this crucial time in the race. If you've rolled the dice and made the right choice, and all of a sudden that right choice gets cancelled out by a safety car, it's not what you want to see. He's also made an interesting choice earlier on in the race. He came in, put on a new set of medium tyres. It's gone slightly out of sync with the drivers up the road from him. Welcome to Productive Panda in the comment section. Let's go. It's free. Let's go, Guiz. Of course, those drivers P1 and P2 in the championship equal on 58 points. So technically, they're both P1 in the championship. Of course, those with P1 and 2 in last year's SAFRL championship, as well as P1 and 2 in last year's SKR championship. Looking to dominate both championships Sunday and Tuesday yet again. Dion looking to upset the pot. Just extreme pace, and now he goes through sector 2. I think that's the fastest sector 2 of the race so far. So the medium's definitely showing pace. Surely it plays on the mind just a little bit, just throwing the car around ever so aggressively, and you still see the raindrops. You've got to put them out of your mind. If they're not affecting the tyres, then they're just affecting your mind. The unlad mine, it's free. Very nicely done. Gets passed into P2. As we joined Landmine, we saw it's free. Coming past. Now Dion, comfortable gap at the front, very comfortable gap at the front. They've let him run away into the distance, and I think it's going to be very difficult to reel him back. The only way they're going to reel him back is with some assistance from the conditions. Dion, it's free, Landmine. Sugar Bear. Something we haven't spoken about too much in this race is penalties. We have a few drivers on penalties: Top Gun, Virus, Sevi, and Skulk. No one at the front. Of course, if someone in that top 3 gets a penalty, you could very quickly lose your podium. What a way to lose your podium. I'd rather get past on the final corner of the final lap than lose it due to a penalty. Tian's gap continues to grow, 5.1 seconds. We're looking at the view from Sugar Bear. He's in P4 and he's getting awfully close. That was the fastest sector 3 of the race. That was obviously with the help of DRS and Slipstream and probably a whole lot of battery. Sugar Bear, P4, looking to get onto the podium, but hopefully he hasn't used too much of that battery, because now he's going to need some to defend. Andre coming up on the back of the Alpine. And I don't know what to say. He's attacking on the intermediate. All the cars around him on the medium tire. It looks like he shouldn't be there. The medium's still quick, the intermediate's still quick, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. Andre's up into P4, and let's see how he progresses through the podium positions. Not hearing a lot from Death Queen. She's actually gone very, very silent. Maybe she's running to the next room. Andre coming through the field very, very quickly. Of course, such an amazing feeling. I've had it before. But you just come into the pits, you get the right tire at the right time, you start racing guys you don't usually race, and you've got the superior grip, you've got the superior traction out of the corners. And that's exactly what's happening to Andre. I think that intermediate's just giving him a slight advantage on the cars around him. And he's enjoying every bit of it. Dion does not agree that the intermediate is the better tyre, and his times don't agree that the intermediate is the better tyre. He's still pulling out belters on the medium tyre. Gap is now 6.5 seconds. And I think at this point, without a big mistake, without damage, without a safety car, all Tian needs to do is keep things simple. I think we have our winner. Andre up into P3. We keep on going to the Williams, but the reason is those intermediate tyres. Remember, initially we had 5 drivers go onto the intermediate and we weren't quite sure what was going on. A lot of them stayed towards the rear of the field. These tyres have just worked for Andre. His car is just lit up with those green wheel tyres on, and now lining up a pass on his teammate. Mediums versus inters. We're using a bit of battery. Ladmine probably sees those intermediates and thinks, I'm not racing him right now. Let's see if Andre is able to make up some ground. That'll be the next task. If he's able to pull away from his teammate, then we'll certainly know those intermediates are the better tyre. Just suggesting by who he's racing and how he's passing them, intermediates definitely seem to be the tyre to be on. Just the right call at the right time. I've spoken about it so many times on this channel, the roll of the dice. Sometimes it leads to complete and utter disaster. What was a bad race turns into a terrible race to the point where you just want to drive it into the pits and park things up. Other times, you can roll the dice and you win the lotto. I think that's what's happening here. Andre in P2, 6.5 seconds, still the gap. So he's not able to make an impact on the gap to Tian, but he is pulling away from Ladmine. The gap 1.2 seconds, and now Ladmine into the pits. course, now it's also going to be interesting to see what will happen with Andre a little bit later on into this race, because remember, he was one of the first drivers. He was one of the first drivers, I think he was the second or the third driver to go in and put on a set of intermediate tyres. And that was quite some time ago. So those intermediate tyres, they were already 13 laps old. I think at some point he's probably going to come in and put on a new set of intermediate tyres. What will happen then? Of course, he's already done that one pit stop. So if you can make those intermediates go right to the end, well, then he doesn't need to. Of course, the moment you use any sort of wet compound in the race, the mandatory rule falls away. And up at the front, look at that, that's big news, that's big news. We didn't see it when it came up, but we're looking at it right now. Tian picks up a penalty. I'm gonna assume it's a 3-second penalty. Hope it's not more than that, at least for his sake. Just a 3-second penalty. 3 seconds now for Tian, for Virus, for Top Gun, and for Skulk. And then Sabby at the rear of the field. He's mounted 6. Tian still leads the way, 5.7 second gap. So it is starting to come down now to Andre. Now Andre's got other problems on his hands. He's got wheeze all over the back of him. Again, one of those complicated scenarios. I don't know what tyre these guys are supposed to be on. Andre was absolutely flying a moment ago. Now all of a sudden wheeze all over his gearbox. And he's on a set of mediums. Make sense of it. What it does do, makes an interesting race for the viewers. Makes an interesting race for the commentator. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. It's Tian. Of course, the banking on that corner was slightly modified for the race in 2020. In fact, it was increased slightly. This is the man in P2. Andre now down 2 positions. He's actually come into the pits. There's your reasoning. I was wondering why he was falling down the field, and there's your reasoning. He's come into the pits. He's got a new set of intermediates. So if conditions don't change and they remain like this right to the end, and he's able to light up those green tyres like he was able to light up the first set of green tyres, I think Andre's in a very, very strong position. Chums up the road from him also on a set of intermediates. But those are very aged intermediates. Drivers at the front though, Tian, Wheeze, Sugar Bear and Not Shumi. Those are your top 4. All of them on the medium tyre. All of them 15 laps old. Ooh, that looked like a big slide. It was just the camera angle. Just the camera angle, but that looked like a big slide coming around the corner from the Mercedes. Just the game giving us a slight heart attack. But we're all good, and so is the leader. Gap 5.3 seconds. We's now comfortably in P2. He's cleared the man behind him by 2.6 seconds. That man is Sugar Bear. He's actually looking at a podium. Not Shumi in P4. Remember, he didn't set a lap in qualifying. He retired. I think it must have been on his out lap. Never got a timed lap. Very early on in the session, dropped out. It was the one disqualification by the Naked Champ, so he actually started in P17. But what a race he's having. He's up into P4. And there's a potential of a podium if anyone up the road has any misfortunes. Big supporter of the streamers, Death Queen, and we know she's a big Andre supporter. Trying to give Andre a little bit more footage. Of course, got a very interesting set of intermediates on the car. That's keeping me interested in his progress. His teammate has come in, got a set of inters as well. Those two Williams, the intermediate tyre is the correct tyre. Will be coming through the field shortly. Keep your eyes on the gap between Natsumi and Andre. That'll be an indication of which tyre is the quicker tyre. That gap not so long ago was 10 seconds. It's now 9.3 seconds. That could be Andre catching. That could be a small mistake from Natsumi. So wait a little longer. You see that gap coming down to 8, 7, 6 and beyond. Then the intermediate tyre is definitely the tyre you want to be on. Lap 22 of 33, still a long way to go. 2/3 of this race is now completed. Here in Portugal in the Algarve. Dion. 4.8 seconds, kept getting smaller and smaller. He's doing everything he can to reel him in. Sugar podium position. Now remember that penalty. It's a penalty we mentioned a while ago. We said it was an important penalty and we haven't really spoken about it since, but it's a very important penalty and now in this context it's becoming even more important. Dion, 4.8 second gap, looks extremely comfortable. 3-second penalty next to his name. That means that's a 1.8 second gap and it's not a very comfortable lead at all. Now the leaders do come into the pits. Dion into the pits, Wheeze into the pits, Sugar Bear into the pits. Natsumi stays out on track. He's trying something slightly different. Landmine over the line, 24.2 fastest lap of the race, and that's on a set of intermediate tyres. So difficult to tell where this track is when some guys are setting fastest laps on inters, others are setting fastest laps on dries. Very much the same time. Natsumi now the leader of the race on a set of medium tyres, but their aging medium tyres, I don't think he's going to be able to take those to the end at all. He's got 18 laps on those. He's probably going to have to pit this very next lap. Surprised he didn't respond to the cars in front of him. Just looking at the cars that came into the pits there. Came out, it's Ferrari came out on the hard tyre, Weeze came out on the soft tyre, so everybody's thinking something slightly different. Dion, well, he's gone on the soft. Of course, if you do find yourself in conditions like this, and you're tempted to go on the slick tyre, the soft is probably your best option. The softer the tyre, the easier it is to get temperature into the tyre. Theoretically at least, we don't always know how this game works. Natsumi leads the race on a set of medium tyres and continues to surprise me. He's just not coming into the pits. Dion on a set of softs, watch that gap, 3.9 seconds to the leader, then you've got the two Williams. I mentioned the two Williams earlier on. I said they were in a great position to come through the field. Andre initially put on that intermediate. His teammate then followed his example and his pit window eventually opened. Now those two coming through line astern, 3 and 4. Dion having a penalty off the road. Saying the medium strip starting to fall off. Absolutely, Joe, but it's been such a complicated race. We started with weather that looked exactly like this. It hasn't gotten any lighter, it hasn't gotten any heavier, there's no standing water on the circuit. Some drivers setting quickest laps on mediums, very next lap, fastest lap on inters, very next lap back to the mediums. Just right there in the middle, track balancing between two compounds and difficult to tell. Now, Tian, fastest lap for the race. And that was on a set of soft tyres. Weeze now, fastest lap of the race, also on a set of soft tyres. Is that the tyre to be on? Soon going to find out. All these Williams going to be holding on to this position 3 and 4. Weeze doesn't want that to happen. He's going to be doing everything he can to come through the field. P1, keep on calling it P1 and 2 in the championship, but technically it's P1 in the championship. Weeze and It's Free, 58 points apiece. They're down in 5th and 6th. What a change to the championship. And now Tian, not Shumi. Tian to the front of the race. Not sure how much longer Notsumi was expecting to go. Those mediums surely reaching an expiry date. Two Williams still going strong. Surprisingly, Ladmine hasn't got much closer to Andre. Hasn't really put up an attack on his teammate. Hasn't got close really. Just been over a second throughout. Just maintaining that over a second gap. Don't know if Ladmine is managing his pace. Doesn't want to interact with his teammate. Or just can't catch his teammate. Not Shumi in P3 now. He's just been fast. Andre up the inside before they get to the corner. Very, very nicely done. And that's on the intermediate tyre. I think those mediums now, they're going to make Notsumi drop down the order like a stone. He really needs to come into the pits and get rid of those tyres, or it's going to be detrimental to his race. Thunder comes in at the very wrong moment, comes in, says, "Go Notsumi," and that would have been appropriate 4 or 5 laps ago, but now Notsumi's starting to fall down the order. He's on an aging set of medium tyres, really out of sync with the drivers around him, and he's gonna have to come into the pits at some stage. It's gonna cost him a whole handful of positions. Or is he just going to stay out there, hold on to track position and take these tyres as far as possibly that he can in hope of a safety car? Stays out again. Ladmine. Now the second Williams. The first Williams went by on the previous lap. The second Williams goes by now. So Williams 2-3, Andre and Ladmine separated by 1.7 seconds, and Tian isn't that far up the road. 2.6 seconds up the road is Tian, and with that penalty, well, I don't need to say it. Now Naked Champ picks up a 3-second penalty. Every time you see that notification up on your screen, you're hoping it's not the Williams driver. What a race he's having. Thunder just saying, "Notsumi, hold on." That's what he's doing. I think he's holding on for everything he's got. He's just hoping for a safety car, something that can give him a free pit stop. But at the moment, just had that one safety car that was early on in the race. I think that was for the retirement of Skull. Not quite sure what happened to Skull. He broke a wing, came into the pits, put on a new wing. We then left the pits for a few moments and saw his DNF. So he DNF'd on an outlap after repairing the car. Not good. As for his ex-teammate, P2, 2.6 seconds is the gap. Tian, P1, with a penalty. He'll know about the penalty. He'll be able to see the gap. He's on a set of soft tyres, and his main opponent in this race is on a set of intermediates. And depending which way this track swings, and we don't know which way it could swing intermediate for a lap or two and then swing the other way. So depending on what this track does, and depending on what this game throws up, it could really determine the result of this race. But at the moment, Tian doing, I was going to say just enough. It popped over 3 seconds there for a moment. 2.9 seconds. Things oh so close. Joe saying the tyres starting to sabotage Natsumi. Definitely 23 laps. He's gone longer on any set of tyres than any driver has done at any stage in this race. 23 laps on a set of mediums. And still 5 laps to go. Will he be able to take it right to the end? Sugar Bear picks up another penalty. Was having a strong race at a time. He was even looking at a certain podium. Things change so quickly. These very strange conditions. This is Wheeze. Wants to get himself onto the podium. He wants to ruin the Williams party, and what a party it would be. 2 and 3, very nicely done, but they still have a lot of work to do before they can celebrate that feat. 2.6, 2.5, 2.6 seconds is the gap, so Andre somehow still bringing Tian in. Tian got away slightly on the last lap, but this is just coming down to one car, or rather one compound being faster than the other in particular sectors. In sector 3, looks like Tian can just get away a little bit. And then in the first and second sector, looks like Andre just reeled him in a little bit. I think this track is really so much in the middle of the conditions. But I think it's really coming down to sector which tyre is the better one to be on. Tian over the line, that gap just over 3 seconds, just over where he needs it to be. Skin of his teeth really. 300th of a second. If that had been the checkered flag, he would have won the race by 300ths of a second. That's got to hurt even more. Of course, we have no communication with the drivers, and that's probably a good thing, because I'd be bugging Andre right now. Caution. Lap 30 of 33, we're not in the safe zone just yet, not for another half a lap at least. So luckily that caution disappeared as quickly as it appeared. We're able to get underway yet again. Tian still leads, 2.9 seconds, that is so close. It's so close. I thought it would have either closed up or opened up 2 or 3 laps later, but it's still balancing around that 3-second mark, and it's making it so difficult to call the race. There's no battle for the lead. You can't see a battle for the lead, but there is very much a battle for the lead. And it's a 10th or 2. Ladmine in P3 hasn't quite been able to keep up with his teammate down in P3. He's lost about 3 seconds now to Andre. Wheeze 1.8 seconds down the road. I think feels like those soft tires really worked on the initial laps. Might just be starting to fall off, and that's why Tian isn't able to get up the road effectively. It's just balancing at that 3-second mark. Lap 31 of 33. It's been a long race. Just had the one retirement right at the start, the one safety car. Other than that, it's been a pretty clean race, other than all the penalties you see on your screen. What all those penalties in the top 4 does is it cements Andre's P2, just needs to get the car home. As for P1, unfortunately Tian, looks like he's just found something. He's found a little something right at the end. He's had to dig deep, he's probably had to dig a lot deeper than he expected to. I looked at the comments section just out of the corner of my eye, and yeah, I read something else. Joe said there that Schumi's tyres are starting to sabotage him. I read that comment earlier, but when I looked at in the corner of my eye, all I saw was the race is sabotaged. And I was like, wait, hold on. Tian leads the way, 3.9 seconds. So he is on the right side of his penalty right now. Let's just double check on everybody's penalties, make sure nothing has changed. 3 seconds for Tian, 3 seconds for Ladmine and Wheeze, as well as Sugar Bear. We've got 3 seconds for Top Gun, 3 seconds for Stealth. Then we've got 6 seconds for Virus, 6 seconds for Spikes, 6 seconds for the Naked Champ. And topping the penalties table is the man at the rear of the field. 9 seconds for Savvy. Death Queen there with the sabotage. I don't know. Race fixing. Have to ask Andre if he paid a little extra in his entry fee this evening. Something came right. .7 seconds. Lap 33 of 33 has begun. This is the final lap. It all comes down to this. You could lead the whole way. You could lead the whole way by 30 seconds. It doesn't matter. If you make a mistake on the final lap, that's where your race ends. So it may look over, but it's not quite over. 4.7 seconds is the gap. Remember to take 3 seconds out of that. So it's a 1.7 second gap for the lead. But I think it's big enough to suggest that only a mistake, only a big mistake from the Mercedes driver could cause that gap to close enough for the penalty to have an effect on the positions. Caution in sector 2, but that'll come to nothing because we're on the final lap. Riding with the leader. Now we're riding with the man in P2. What a race he's had. Back to the leader, Tian. Still have Wheeze and Ladmine battling it out for P3 in the very closing stages of the race. I was looking for close gaps and then I saw this one for P3. Looks like P1 is pretty much determined. There he goes. We're waiting for him to go over the line. There he appears over the crest of the hill and oh, don't lose it, don't lose it. And Andre just in time over the line loses control of the car. And well, that could have ended very, very badly. I once lost the race doing exactly that, and it would have been my first ever race victory. Would have been my first ever race victory, would have been in China, a circuit I'm not even particularly quick at. It was just a fantastic night. I just matched up with the car, and then on the final corner decided to give it a bit of a weave and met the pit wall. Then I went on to wait another year for my first win. Moral of the story, don't weave unnecessarily. Might end badly. Checkered flags now for everyone. We're not going to read out the results until those official results. I think there's a lot of penalties still to play out. What a drive by everyone in the field. A track that not everyone is familiar with. Just the one retirement in such a large field. Quality driving. Not Schumi, well deserved driver of the day, made up a lot of positions. I've done it again, haven't I? That podium music gets me every time. Just have a bit of a pause now, waiting for the results. Oh, I hate these pauses, they're so awkward. I just sit here looking at a black screen thinking, okay, right now I really am talking to myself. Here we go, brief look at the podium. And on to the results. Dion takes the victory, and in the end it wasn't by much. Andre P2, then Ladmine P3, great result for Williams on the night. Then Weeze couldn't get onto the podium at the end. He finishes in P4. It's Faree P5, so a bit of a mix-up in the championship. Sugar Bear P6, Not Shimmy P7, great drive from him, started right at the back. Pantry Star P8. Then you got the Naked Champion P9, remember he did start at the back, he got disqualified. And a top 10 final point for Top Gun. Remember, Naked Champ initially qualified 7th and then lost that position to a DSQ. No points on the night for Chums, Mink, Spikes, Virus, Skull, Captain Slow, Sabby, and of course Skull retired at the beginning of the race. Now going to just allow 2 or 3 minutes to see if anybody does want to join the cool down room, have a little chat after the race. Just going to allow, just give me 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to try and get the Discord started. It's been crashing my computer lately, so I'm going to start it very carefully. I'll be back with you in a few minutes.
In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near, fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap, John falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine.
Welcome back, everybody. Looks like Discord's working. There we go. Fantastic. Now if I can just find my server. There we go. Let's get ourselves into the comms box. Technically we weren't in the comms box. And we do have one driver. It's one driver I think everyone wants to hear from. Of course, we're going to bring him into the comms box. If anybody else does want to join, of course, you can join the cool down room and I'll bring you in one by one or all at once. So Andre in the cool down room, we're going to bring him in. Before we do, Andre, if you're listening on a device, you can either mute it if possible or at least put it lower so we don't hear ourselves multiple times. I'm going to bring you in now. There we go. I think that worked. Andre, say something. I want to see if they can hear you. There we go. Now, Andre, can you hear me? Go. Your mic is breaking up a little bit. Andre, what a race. When did you decide to go on to that intermediate? And did you at any stage think it was the wrong choice? ended out really well. And then obviously at the end there was that penalty, and you must have had it in the back of your mind, possibly. Andre, on, on, Andre, sorry to interrupt. Just give me 1 second. They're saying they can't hear you. I just want to see if I can try and sort that out. Discord can sometimes be quite complicated. Is that the one? Nope. Is that the one? Nope. Let's have a look. Is it working now? This is not good. Still can't hear Andre. Oh no, this is not good. Why is this not working now? Let me see here. Technology. When it works, it's great. When it doesn't work, you look really stupid. So yeah, fantastic. So I'm sorry if you can't hear Andre. I'm going to try one more time. Let's see. Let's see.
Should I just keep on talking until someone replies?
Yeah, you can just keep on talking. Then I can see if your little mic there is going up and down. Then I know if they can hear you or not.
Yeah. Not or not? Yes, no.
There we
maybe.
go. Now they can hear you. Okay, just
Okay.
okay. So let's start again because nobody heard anything you said. So from the beginning, you said Virus went into the pits, put on a set of inters, and that got you thinking.
Yeah, I saw his lap times and he was matching the dry tires and he was slightly quicker than he normally is. So I said, well, when the safety car came out, let's give it a go and try something different. Got nothing to lose there.
And then, as I said earlier, on that run, was there at any point you thought, I got on the wrong tire, I messed this up? Or were you consistently just quicker than the drivers ahead? Were you happy with that tire choice, or did you ever regret it?
When the safety car restarted, I gained 4 positions on the first lap. So I knew I was on the right tire, although the game said dries are faster. And I just kept stuck to my guns and stick to that strategy. And when I pitted again, I said, well, let's go into this again. It worked for the first half of the race. Let's try it for the second half.
It worked out for the second half, and it almost worked out even better. I think
Almost.
I think with two, not two, I think with 3 laps to go, that gap was still balancing 2.7, 2.9 seconds, and I was like, well, if if Tian's battling on those softs, there's a possibility that gap will only come down. But he found something at the end. He always seems to find something at the end. But still a fantastic drive. I forget, where did you start on the grid?
I think P6. So, yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I managed the gap. I don't know if Big T was playing cat and mouse with me, but I managed the gap 2.7, 2.8 all the time. And then as soon as I lapped Skulk, I lost some concentration. And then from there, I just went backwards. But I think T was toying with me.
We've actually
If he liked me more, he would have given me the win. Eh?
we've got another driver in here. Just dragged him in now. He is muted. There we
Hello,
go.
hello.
See, how are you?
I'm alright, eh? It was quite nerve-wracking. Not gonna lie.
I wanna know from you, when the other drivers were going on to intermediates, you stayed out on the medium for a long time. Were you convinced
Yeah.
that was the right tire? And when did you decide this is definitely the wrong tire?
I wouldn't say it necessarily was the wrong tire. The inters were very fast at the end of the stint, just due to the fact that they wore a lot slower. But over 1 lap, the dries were definitely faster. I fortunately managed to do a wet practice before the race, on full wets. So I knew what the track was like for inter conditions. I actually kind of wish it was full inter conditions, other than the mixed ones we had tonight. Um, but I started on the mediums, and when Reese pitted and I stayed out, I was thinking perhaps on going on to the inters because I saw Andre was doing well. And definitely as my mediums were starting to wear down by lap 20, he was starting to close in. So I was like, damn, this is going to be very tight on the softs. But I knew Reese was going to put in the softs, and I think I had a 3 second penalty already before I put it. So I was just worried that he was going to close in because I actually got a penalty from watching the stream. I was looking at the stream, and then I looked again and I got a penalty. I was like, flip. Um,
Lovely.
so I just backed myself. I put it, and then as I came out, I saw I was pulling away from Andre, but I knew as the softs wore, he was only going to get faster and faster. But I knew I was faster in sector 2, so I was hoping that would be enough to pull the gap. I know I needed just about 3.3 going into that final braking zone because you would pull about 2 tenths in that traction. So I knew I needed 3.3 and I'd be fine. And in the last 2 laps, I managed to find a little bit extra. I don't know where it came from. But I was also one warning away from another 6 second penalty. And
Oh,
then on the last lap, my sound cut out. So I was like, flipping out. I hope he doesn't close in now.
I
But
mean, there was
I
a
managed to get it with my hands cramping, sound off.
there was a
Yeah,
there
so
was
it
a
was very close. But
there was a
Andre
game there was a game. I don't know
definitely
if
was
it
driving
was
today.
I don't know if it was 23 or if it was 22, but there was one game that every now and then, when you went from qualifying into the race would just be silent, and you were stuck with it till the end of the race. You were just stuck with silence. Sometimes it would be the qualifying session and the sound would come back in the race. Sometimes it was the other
Yeah,
way around, and yeah, I'd have to flip it to automatic because I couldn't deal with having to stare at the screen to know what's happening. I couldn't hear my car. But
yeah, and
Dion, welcome. I think it's the first time you've been in the comments box.
for a long
yeah,
time.
for a long time now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, T. I appreciate the words and GG, bud. You did it the last
I,
2 laps.
And
I
then the
know how
last,
much you hate this track, so I was very impressed with the pace you had.
the last
You
Very
know,
impressed.
question.
I switched off ABS at the start of the season, and I'm
Yeah.
coming into it. I'm getting used to it. Sunday as well at Monza, I enjoyed the race and all that, so I'm getting used to it. But I'm still
No, I
far off you
honestly
guys.
thought. No, I honestly thought in about I think 5 laps, 6 laps to go, I still didn't know if I was gonna win or not. Like it was that tight, and I knew you were just gonna get faster as it went.
That
So
that is what I
very
wanted
well
to
done.
ask you. Were you at any stage managing the gap, playing with B2,
Me.
or driving within yourself to like avoid a penalty, or because that gap
Yeah, yeah. So
hovered
I
at
was
three
trying to
seconds for a
avoid.
long time.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid a penalty. Because I was one away from the 6 second. I wouldn't say I was playing with it. I was trying to get away from him, but I was struggling. He would catch up on me in sector 1, and then sector 2, I'd pull away again, and then he would catch up in that corner in sector 3. So it was basically just trying to maximize where I was faster the whole time. For the first, I think, 8 laps or 7 laps on the softs, I was in that 2 final braking zones. I was going quite deep. So once I managed to get the right breaking point there, I was managing to build a better gap. And then I think with the final 3 laps, I had to switch my ERS to none in the corners just to manage the tire wear. And somehow I found the extra pace. But I honestly didn't know if I was going to win or not because I just knew he was going to get faster, and he seemed very comfortable and confident on those tires. So it's just about who believed in themselves more. Um, and I think easily it could have gone in his favor at the end of the day.
Very, very nicely done. Big T, when do we see you on track? At least here on NFR, when do we see you on track again?
I might race Sunday. I have another race Sunday, but it's after SKR. But it's the same track, so I might do practice in SKR and then race afterwards. If not, you probably will see me Tuesday again.
Fantastic. And then Andre, we're going to see you both times. We're going to see you on Sunday and on Tuesday. Of course,
Yeah, I don't miss it for nothing.
Next week Tuesday is another mystery track. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't know where to practice for. You don't know where to prepare for. It could be anywhere. Well, it could be one of 7 tracks, and I don't know what they are right now. But yeah, I want to thank the guys that came into the comms box. I want to make sure there's no one else sitting in the cool down room thinking, what a jerk. He just left me here. But no, there's no one there unless he left and I didn't know about it. If so, apologies. So thanks to Tian, thanks to Andre, and see you back on track and hopefully back in the comms box soon.
Fun fact quickly before we go. My second name is Tian.
Oh,
Hey.
and the first name?
Andre, yeah.
Oh, also a Tian, so it's Tian Tian. Very confusing
Something
stuff.
like that, yeah.
Double podium.
Double
Almost, yeah.
podium, double podium. You just needed that third one. Would have made it perfect.
Yeah.
But I
Right.
wanna thank you guys, and like I say, yeah, hopefully see you back in the comms box soon because that means another good result.
Thanks so much, Nan.
No problem. Speak
Cheers,
again
cheers, guys.
soon. Cheers, eh?
Cheers, cheers.
And there we go. I think they've left. I believe they've left. So I'm back in the comms box by myself. Not exactly by myself. Still got a few people here on the stream watching. I want to thank everybody who's joined us. Everyone who's watched the race. What a race it was. It was a race we couldn't call right to the end, and there wasn't technically a battle on the track. So it was a race where we had to watch the timesheets, figure out what sort of tyre was doing the right thing in the right part of the racetrack. It was a complicated race to commentate on. It was probably a difficult race to watch and figure out what was going on. So I want to thank you all. If you're a first time visitor to the channel, remember to subscribe. And if you haven't left a like, shame on you. Do it right now. Of course, I have added Discord links in the bio of all the videos. So if you are watching and you would like to join SAFRL or SKR, you can contact them on their Discord server. There is a link below the video. There's also a link to the NFR Discord server. So if you'd like to join the comms box as Andre and Tian did, then you can do so in the future. Invitations also open to any drivers who'd like to do a guest appearance in the comms box. Come and commentate a race with me, and that's also open to anyone who's in the comment section and is a usual visitor to this channel. If you'd like to join me in the comms box someday, just join the Discord, let me know, and we'll arrange it. So again, thank you to all of you. I'll see you soon. Not that soon, only on Sunday. It's a bit of a stretch, but until then, enjoy the music for a few moments, and we'll be done. Cheers.
Always mounts. And if I feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On and off, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On and fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. And if I feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You to NFR, feel the speed, the speed.
Engines roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night, a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near, fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap, drama unfolds, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave, legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night, adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near, fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap, drama unfolds, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave, legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night, adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine.
It's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet.
Folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1,000,000 toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's right, crashing dreams nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's right, crashing dreams nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying but the track's all uphill.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, 'cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh, George.